So here we're starting with this kind of version of a hack squat. It's different than your traditional hack squat. I call it kind of like a half hack. So if this is all you have in the gym, you'll still be able to get good progress with it, but it will be different than your traditional hack squat. This is the first week back after the Olympia, so kind of just easing into everything, just seeing what my knees feel like, what my joints feel like, and just slowly upping the weight. So this is going to be one of my working sets, and I'm use the word working lightly. But I went up to like just 45 on each side just to get a nice controlled pace, nice squeeze at the top, just get the muscles back used to doing a different amount of work and a different type of work, especially going into shows. You're going to be doing a little bit less, sometimes more, just depending on what your body needs. But for me, the last few weeks going into a show, it's a little bit lighter on the legs just so we can keep inflammation down. You want to keep everything full, but that's about it. So for here, your rep range can vary. It can be about 15 to 25 is the rep range that I stay in pretty much year round, just so I'm not growing more than I need to be. If I want it to be more intense, I just slow it down. Here, my husband designed this today. I had never done this movement before. So foot placement wise, I'm not sure if you can really tell on the video. The feet placement is more in like a plie kind of squat. Like if you're in first position for my dancers, you're gonna turn out, keep the heels together, the toes will go out to the side. Now with this V squat machine, you wanna be careful of sitting backwards. That's gonna get more hamstring, but if you wanna get more of that quad, outer sweep, and sometimes teardrop, depending on kind of how your body is situated, you want those knees to push towards the pad versus you sitting backwards. And you'll notice a difference in terms of where you feel it at and how everything activates. Now, key thing is you want to make sure that your spine stays super straight, abs are nice and controlled, and you're syncing your breathing with the movement so that you're not collapsing onto your legs. Especially if your hips are tight, you're going to want to make sure you have the flexibility to do a movement like this as well. If you want to start lighter, definitely do that. That's what I did. Hop it on down, giving y'all the full workout. Here we have Sumo leg press. So on this type of leg press, it doesn't look like your feet are up as high, but that's about as high as they can go comfortably on this machine. Now your standard leg press, you may be able to get your feet almost off of the pad. Just depends on what the foot placement pad looks like and feels like. So always watch for that. So here I'm driving more so through my heels, letting my knees come back towards my shoulders. But when I push up, I want to push to those heels and make sure that I'm using more of my inner hamstrings, like those inner two, and making sure that I'm really pressing through and controlling that motion so that I'm getting the most bang for my buck. Now for this movement, I don't like to use a lot of weight because I'm getting such an extreme range of motion that I want to really get that stretch, and I don't need too much weight on there in order to do that. And in order to activate my hamstrings. So you want to know what it takes to activate your muscles properly. So if you don't need that much weight, you can start low and then gradually add up. Here we're going to do plate loaded, is what I call these. Plate loaded stiff leg deadlifts, or you can call them RDLs, whichever one you really want to call them. They all have all type of different names. For me, we just call them RDLs today. So this is going to be ham glute focused, and what I do is I let the plates kind of go in front of my toes so that I'm getting more of a stretch and it kind of pulls me forward, and then I let my low glute squeeze me up versus letting my hamstrings kind of squeeze me up, because when I squeeze my low glute, it actually activates my hamstrings really well. We're going to finish up with more of your accessory work where you're kind of really just getting the blood into the last little bit of the muscles. I don't overdo leg days. I only have one leg day year round usually. I'll go up to 2, and that'll be a hamstring focused one and a quad focused one when I'm in prep. But in the improvement seasons, one leg day, I'll do 3 exercises each, or overall leg exercise for hamstrings and quads, and just kind of max it out that way. Here I'm doing this single leg extensions. I like to keep single leg in just because of my scoliosis and my lordosis and my short leg. It makes a difference in order for me to be able to keep my legs as close to similar as possible and really getting that activation so that I'm really feeling each side and making sure that everything is firing and knowing where I should get body work done and things like that. So I pay attention to all of that when I'm doing unilateral work. Now, unilateral work is extremely important. If you're not doing it, you definitely should. It does take longer, But in a sense, though, it kind of helps you burn more calories too, because you're doing double the workload to just get one set done. So that means you could probably eat more food. So that's always a win. So notice my hand placement. I'll like to kind of touch different places to make sure that everything is firing how I want it to fire, and change if need be. We finished off with your standing hamstring curls. I like to keep the weight decent on these. I don't try to go extremely heavy on anything, because for me, it's more so about maintenance and refining everything that I want to get done for the rest of my career. And I don't need any more muscle. All I want to do is just perfect what I have. So in order to do that, that takes the consistency with the diet, the training, and everything like that. But when it comes to the weights, I just pick a weight that's comfortable, but that I can make uncomfortable. It's more so about finding those pockets to make it more intense without having to lift more weight, so that I'm not growing as much as I possibly can. I like to squeeze at the top of these motions. I usually start with my right hamstring, because that's my short leg, and she sometimes has problems firing. So I'll start on that right side usually to make sure she's kind of wanting to cooperate with us for the day. And then I'll go from there. Let's go to my left one, which clearly, as you can see, fires very, very easily. So does that glute. So focus on the leg that you start with. You want to start with your weaker leg, or your one that has kind of a couple issues. Start with that one. Find the connection and do extra if need be, and just really pay attention to what your body is doing. For these, I really try not to swing the weight, and just really control up and down, and making sure that I'm feeling every single muscle fiber as I go. Enjoy.